Live from the Pines, episode 98. Tonight we welcome special guests, athletic coordinator, head football coach, Coach Claude Mathis, DeSoto High School. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I wish I was in your shoes this week.
I'm glad I'm in my shoes right now myself, so I'm enjoying it.
I understand that. Well, Coach, big week for you guys. Big game Saturday coming up. But before we get into all that, Coach Mathis, where just I want to hear a little bit about you. Where did it all start for you? Where'd you come? Where'd you start off at? Where were you raised at? Where'd you play ball at? All that good stuff.
Well, I was very blessed to be I played ball in Bartlett, Texas. It's a small 1A school that has some great tradition and great culture there, and was very fortunate to win two state championships there. And from there, I was coached with the Texas State, which is Southwest Texas State at the time.
I saw your the Hall of Fame.
Yes. I'm nominated for that, and hopefully one day I get in there. We don't know, but hopefully I will. I'm in the Hall of Honor there, and I was very blessed at Southwest Texas State at the time, and a lot of accolades. But again, I was very blessed. Had some great teammates there, some great coaches there, as well as I had in Bartlett with Coach Cron and Coach Gregory, Coach Jones, and so many others that had helped me. And it's one of those things where you leave college and you go play in the league a little bit and get hurt and fall back on your degree. And Coach Gregory was fortunate enough to give me a job when I came out, and the rest was history. I learned from him and learned a lot from him, and know a lot to him. And so from there, I went to Austin Anderson, went to Somerville, and from Somerville, I came back to Austin LBJ. From LBJ, I went to DeSoto and was there for until like 2014, and left to go back up a little bit. Went to Houston, and then came back to DeSoto. Then I left DeSoto again in 2014 and went to coach at SMU. And then from there, I went to get out and coach my boys, and I went to Marshall, and ended back at DeSoto in 2019.
So, you've had a chance to coach at all different classifications,
yes,
and also been around the state. But, what sticks out to you the most about DeSoto? It's a winning tradition. The program speaks for itself, but what sticks out so much about DeSoto to you?
I mean, we have so many players that are in the NFL and played in the NFL and played in college. And we're very blessed to have a great program where our kids are successful and able to, play far and play deep in the playoffs and win state championships and leave there and go to college and have great college careers and go to the NFL. So, but most importantly, those guys are graduating and getting their degrees. So, I mean, it's just a great place to be at. It's a lot of great kids that are fortunate that comes back. Had a bunch of them on the sideline this past weekend, and just a great place to be. So very fortunate and very happy to be where I'm at right now, and very happy to have a lot of great athletes, great alumni, great smart guys to come through DeSoto and get the degrees and love some football.
That's great. That's the plan. Everybody will not play at the next level, but everybody has a chance to stay close to the game if they want to, and that's coaching. And, something sticks out. There's a tweet made this week about, Texas football, and I love what somebody said. You got to be certified in the state of Texas to coach football.
Yeah, you do.
That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot. It's different. You have to be certified to do this job. You can't just know ball and just walk into this job, because one of the roles of this job is, basically either in a classroom or being an administrator.
And you know what? This game has been great to me. Very fortunate. But when you have games like you had this past weekend, you're like, wow, Texas football is the best. It's one of the best programs you can be a part of, I think, with DeSoto. But more importantly, you just surround some great coaches in this state. You around some great teams in this state, and we're very competitive. And you look at the kids, how they showcase their talents, and the coaches, how their coaching skills, man, it's nothing like it. So I'm really enjoying Texas high school football this year, and it's great. I have some great coaches in the state of Texas.
It speaks for itself. Look at all the news going around it,
Yeah. It is. And of course, state is this weekend coming up, and it's one of the largest in the state, which is in this state, but around the nation. But you just got to enjoy it, man. Big weekend for Texas high school football this weekend, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Exactly. Coach Mathis, talking about your program, what are some of the things y'all do inside the walls at DeSoto to function the way y'all do? Like the day-to-day, it's not just going out there and lining up on Fridays and playing football. You know, it's a lot put into it throughout the week between, you know, you, your staff, and everybody else in the community.
You know what? It's a lot of mental preparation. It's a lot of preparation throughout the week. Our coaches, we meet often. We're prepared. So when the kids come down, they know exactly what our expectations are. They know exactly what to do, and they understand how we're going to handle it. And the preparation this year changed from last year a little bit because we lost. And so there's some things that have to change, and we changed it, and it's changed now, and it continues to roll now just because of little things we tweaked this year. When I tell you we tweaked them because man, we started off 0-2, but you know you can't stay at a level where you think you're going to be great. If you get stuck and stable, it won't work. And so we had to be uncomfortable. We had to make my coaches uncomfortable, and I had to be uncomfortable. So we did some other things that has really paid off this year to help us out and try to be consistent in what we do. But at the same time, you have to adapt to your kids. And I think we've done a great job in adapting to our kids this year. But at the same time, man, we've done some good stuff this year that's really helped us out to get to where we're at right now. And I owe a lot to my coaching staff for coming up with some great ideas to get the reaction from our kids and get the response from our kids that we need in order for them to take it to another level. They've done that this year.
That's huge, you know. And I
Yes.
saw something today, and I read something, and it was basically saying if you can't depend on, you know, if a head coach has to do the job of his assistants, then you know the head coach isn't doing his job. And when you have a staff where you can, you know, you can depend on your assistant coaches to take care of things, so you don't have to take care of things. It makes, you know, everybody's day easier because you can prepare to be a head coach and not, you know, worry about all the other things.
Yeah, and I lost some coaches this year too. We've coached with some coaches short this year, and my guys have pitched in and really took the reins and really, you know, picked up the slack. So I give kudos to my staff right now. I mean, they've done a great job, and they know my expectations, and they know what our standard is. And Josh Almighty, man, I have a great staff. I have a great staff, and I can put my staff against anybody across the nation. I just know we'll get the job done.
I understand that. Coach Mathis, you know, having the talent you have on your roster, how do you manage to keep everybody engaged? You know, nobody's bigger than the team.
Oh, boy, it's part of our culture. It's our expectations, and I won't waver from it. Nobody's bigger than this team, and those guys understand that. The good thing about this group, this class, they had to understand that. We had some young kids this year that didn't understand that, but our culture is so strong, and our alumni base is so strong that the foundation is already laid, and you know they have to follow it, and we're not going to waver from that because we know that's best for them, and we understand what has gotten us over the hump here at DeSoto, and it works. It works for us. And not everybody can play at DeSoto. We know that, but these guys have bought in. They're coachable. They understand our culture. They understand our expectations. They understand that we won't waver, and they're going to have some fun with it too as well. So they've done a great job in finally getting it, and we're playing as a team finally. But it took a while. It took us a long time to get this thing right this year, but we're very consistent with it. We didn't waver as coaches, and they understood that, and we got it. They finally got it.
You know, going back to what you said, you know, everybody knows y'all started the season off 0-2.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were counting y'all out, you know,
Yep.
but it's real early in the season, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning, like you said, you're young, you're learning a lot about your guys. Your guys are learning a lot about y'all. You know, things are, you know, it's not just practice, you know, this is week to week now, you know, we're on a time scale.
Sure.
But you know, you said something that stood out a lot, like you were able to adapt to change.
Yes.
And you know, how hard is that to do with a group of 15 through 18-year-old, 14 through 18-year-olds, probably on y'all side, but you know, how hard is that to do in the
You have
middle
to know
of
your players. You have to know your players. You have to know your players. And our coaches, part of our great tradition here, we have to have relationships with our players. And so each position coach know each one of their players. They have to, in order for me to know them all. So we all communicate. They let me know how it goes and what they're doing, like their favorite stuff this is and this and that. And I know when a kid is having a bad day because I've got a great relationship with him. I know he's having a great day. But you have to. And some kids are not going to be very open with you, but they may be open with another coach. So you just have to adapt to that right there. And you have to adapt to them when it comes to the offense or defense or the talent level that we have that year. It's different. It's totally different. And I think we've done a great job in doing that. Continue to do that. And our guys right now, I mean, we got them in the right spots for now. Quarterback went down early this year, and we're playing with some guys that were hurt this year, and we're finally getting them back. And we had to make sure some other kids get in those spots. But we wouldn't have known that if we wouldn't adapt it to our kids and understand who can do this and who can do that and be prepared for it. So I think adaptation is very important, especially when you have a bunch of young kids and what they can do and what they cannot do, because you cannot put them in a situation to be not successful. We always got to put our kids in a situation to be successful, and I'm big on that right there. So we've adapted great to our kids this year. They've adapted to us, and our culture is still strong. It's not going to fit. It's not going to stop. We're going to keep it.
You know, do you believe that, those 2 losses made y'all even better?
The team that beat us out of Georgia, Creekside, they just won state on Monday. They didn't lose the game. And I knew they were good when we played them, and it was shocked the heck out of me how good they changed in a year. Now, I'll never forget that coach, he called me after the game. He told me after that game they played us the first year, because I think we beat them 70-0 or 70-6. And he said that's the best thing that happened to him. And they learned from that. And trust me, I learned from that whooping that he gave me too as well. And we've learned a lot from those 2 games. We did. Had an injured quarterback. I still think if he wouldn't have been injured, we would have won. Would have been at 1-1, but we weren't. So we're still trying to find ourselves. But we learned a lot about this team, a lot about the staff, but more so about those players. And they fought back from that first game, and I knew it was there. I knew they had the fight in them, and they're going to continue to fight for us. And we didn't lose them. We weren't going to lose them. And I just know that us being 0-2, it's really put us in a good situation that we are in right now. We're playing for a state championship.
That's the goal.
Yeah, no doubt. That's definitely our goal for next year, for sure. It is.
Everybody's good. Yeah. But, when does the culture in DeSoto football start? Does it start in 9th grade, or does it start when in middle school, elementary? When does it start? When do kids realize, I want to go be a DeSoto Eagle?
It starts at the younger age. It starts in elementary schools. It starts in the junior highs. And it doesn't stop. And, it's just one of those things where kids want to be like a Feaster. They want to be like a Sarad. They want to be like a Chase. I mean, a JoJo. I mean, or some of our offensive and defensive line like a Juicy. I mean, they want to be like those guys because they see those guys are having success, and they're having fun, and they're winning games, and they're winning championships. And who doesn't want to be a part of that right there? And they're going to school, and they pretty much pick some of the colleges that they want to go to. And that's what kids' dreams are. They want to go play college ball. They want to go play in the NFL. And, what better place to do it is at DeSoto. So I think our kids, we start that at a young age, and we continue to be at a young age. And I'm going to continue to hit our elementary schools and hit our junior high schools and let them know what DeSoto football is about. And hopefully they'll be a part of it the rest of their life as long as they're at DeSoto.
Love that. Talking about the youth and all that, we talked about the culture and different things, but being in the area you're located in with all the power, all the great programs surrounding y'all, how hard is it as a head coach to make sure that, I'm in my kids' faces from a young age so they know, the standard, they know DeSoto, they know me, and we build that relationship at a young age because, the game's changing tremendously. People are willing to, say, well, let's not wait our turn anymore. Let's just go somewhere else, and we can start young instead of waiting our turn and being a part of something great.
Got to keep the foxes out the hen house. That's what the old folks say. Got to keep the foxes out the hen house. Got to do whatever you do to keep them out your hen house. And as I say that to say this, you got to keep them out your backyard. You have to have your kids. You can't lose your kids in the junior house. And that's what they start picking them off at. They try to pick them off in the junior house. They really do. And you got to understand that DeSoto is a place that's rich in tradition. DeSoto has a lot of great kids that are smart and they're very athletic. And people are going to try to pick them off. And you got to continue to preach academics. You have to continue to preach fundamentals. You have to continue to preach. You can get those kids and put them in a situation to be successful so they have a chance to go to college. And that's what our parents want. They just want a chance for those kids to have a chance to go to college, have a play, but more so being part of a growth program where you can raise young men, because not everybody's going to go to college. But you want to be in a program where you can raise young men to be great men when they get out of there. And it's like I tell everybody, if it's just about football, I have failed your life. So it ain't going to be about just football with me. So that's what we try to do and teach our parents and educate our parents on when they're coming up and why their kids should be at DeSoto and stay at DeSoto. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out there that try to pick you off, and it just can't happen in DeSoto.
That's great. And like you said, it all starts at a young age. You get in
Yes,
their face at a young age, you got them then.
it does.
So
No, it really does.
talking about this group you have now, what sticks out the most? Because I'm sure that you understand this, you do it every day, but kids have changed.
Yes.
Times have changed, kids have changed. What have you had to do different, with this new generation of kids? Because, you know, 10 years ago, you could have all the talent in the world, and no matter what day it was, they were going to show up and give you 100%. Like they weren't going to let outside noise get in the way of what's going on. And the new generation of kids, it's easy for them to get distracted.
They need to know the biggest thing that I've learned with my kids when I'm sitting down talking to Nick Saban at the table one day in my office is why. They want to know why. And totally blew my mind when Nick was telling me about this because his players at Alabama some of them was to know why. And he had to explain to them why we do this, why we do that, why we're in the situation you're in, why you're in that situation, why we do this. And once they understand the word why, it's so much easier. It's so much easier for them to play for you. It's so much easier for them to listen to you. It's so much easier for them to do things for you and understand the game because they know why. And that's been the biggest thing for me. And some of these kids from us, they hear the outside noise, but then sometimes they get the outside noise at their own kitchen table, in their own house.
Huge. That's huge.
That's the part that you have to really, that's the hardest part to fight when it's coming from inside their own house. So we try to explain to our parents that being very positive when it comes to our kids. Tell our parents to really watch the internet because, they'll try to get you out there. And we keep our kids out. We have somebody monitoring our internet, by the way, our social media. So I pretty much know what goes on with social media. I really do. It's like we had a kid after the Willis game, and they thought this kid had did something to Bishop. And we had to really show the video to the other people to realize that it wasn't him. And he was taking a beat down. And thank God we was able to catch it on our social media because it was some people, some grown adults really treating this kid really bad on social media. And we was able to catch it and basically remove him off of it because it was not a good situation for him, especially the way they were treating him. So the outside noise, if you let it creep in, it will destroy our program. But we do a pretty good job here at DeSoto and trying to keep that out and keeping our kids off the internet and having somebody monitor our young men to make sure they win a situation for us to not let that outside noise come into our program.
Social media can be a downfall.
That's huge.
No matter what you might have meant, it can get spent, anything, especially being so young, you don't think about post, before you post stuff sometimes.
No, you don't.
And having somebody to watch that, you might save a kid opportunity.
Yeah, we try to educate as much as possible about social media. And I think our guys have done a great job this year, especially on social media, staying off social media, and most important, not responding to things they see on social media. And, it hasn't been easy. We're not perfect at all. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we try to put our kids in a situation to be successful and not do that and try to teach them. And hopefully they make the right choice by doing that. Like I tell them all the time, you have two choices. You can make a good choice. You can make a bad choice. Which one are we going to make? What's best for us? What's best for this team? And hopefully they'll make their right choice.
Yeah, I know we don't have much longer. You got a busy week to finish and everything. But what's it like being in this position that your program's in this week? You've been there a time or two before, but what's it like? Like what's the build-up look like? Just from the start of December, the start of the season to the middle of the season to the playoffs to now playing in December. What is that like? What's the day-to-day look like?
You know what? It's a long year. I was the AD too as well, so I was wearing a lot of hats at the time, and I had a lot of my staff doing a lot of work for me. But it's some long hours. It's some seriously long hours, and you have to watch yourself during the year. And I think what got me this year, I didn't get a break. This is the first time I didn't get a break in a while, a long time when it comes to summer. I try to usually take at least a week off, at least, but it wasn't nothing like that this year. I have been going ever since we ended the season. Got beat. Got beat. We didn't win it. We had won our consecutive streak, had lost the game in almost 2 years. We got beat. And it was so much stuff happening that I wasn't able to take a break, and I was just driven by that too as well. So I have to watch my coaches during the season to make sure I give them time to rest as well. And I have to monitor our kids too as well throughout the season. And that's part of our day-to-day operations. That's part of my day-to-day operations because I'm over that. And by the time we get to district play, but most importantly, after district play, we get to the playoffs, my guys are rested and ready to go. So there's a lot that goes in there in that process right there. When it's trying to get them prepared and ready to go and play 16 ball games to get to the point that we are right now. But at the same time with me, I'm exhausted. I am, but that doesn't mean anything. I'd rather be exhausted and tired as long as we can win championships. I can live with that. Rest will come. I'm not worried about rest right now. Rest will come. My family's been great. They understand that. But rest will come. But it's something that we have to do right now. And our kids understand they've been in there with us. And it's a process all those weeks leading up to where it is right now. And I'm just glad that we've executed and we're in a process in our town to hopefully have a chance to win one. And we just got to go out there and execute. But at the same time, there's a lot leading up to this. And it wasn't easy. I can tell you that it wasn't easy at all. This is the most difficult journey that we've had when it comes to state championships.
Yeah. And you say that, but people really don't realize what goes into day-to-day
No,
life of the kids, y'all's life,
no,
administrator, staff. Because I'll tell you one thing, football season's been over for us for a couple weeks now, but Monday you have something, Tuesday you
yeah,
have something, Wednesday you have something, Thursday you have something, Friday you're leaving as a fan, you're leaving work early. You're getting there, trying to get everything ready for the kids, but you don't get home till late Friday.
yeah,
Saturday you want to make a trip or do something, you're exhausted, but people don't realize what all goes into the week,
no,
especially 16 weeks of it.
no. This is an early night for me. Actually, since the playoffs have started to come home, because at the end of the day, you still have to take care of yourself and take care of the kids, but also make sure the coaches are getting the proper rest too, as well. And the kids are make sure they're getting the proper rest. So it's a day-to-day operation that falls on me, and I take full responsibility of it. And if we're not clicking on all cylinders, it's on me. If we're not fresh and ready to go, it's on me. If we're not executing, it's on me. And that's how I look at it because at the end of the day, I'm the leader. I'm the head coach. And our coaches and our players, they have to respond. And if I can't get them to respond, there's no need to be the head coach. It won't work. But I think right now, our coaches right now and our players, they're doing a great job and getting to this point where we're fresh, we're ready to go, and we're taking it one game at a time. And hopefully, the day-to-day operation continues the next couple of days where we can execute and be things and do things right.
Yeah. That's what you got. That's what you came this far for,
Yeah,
to finish the mission, win it all. But you talk about all these different things that y'all do throughout the day and all those things. Do things start to slow down when you get this far in the year? Like, are you taking a step back? Or are you still on the gas?
you know what? I'm on gas. My foot is to the dang pedal, and it's not stopping. We don't waver, and we're not going to waver. The minute you ease up is the minute you get beat. The minute you get relaxed is the minute you get beat. Why come this far and ease up now and get your tail whooped? And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned when I got there because I told myself, I'm tired of losing in the semifinal games. If I ever got back to a semifinal game again, I'm not losing. I'm not. It's different. And we've been blessed to pull that off. So, no, we're not stopping right now. We know what's ahead. We know it's a big challenge ahead, but no, it would be god awful for us right now to stop and go into Saturday's game and get our head beat in. No, that don't work with me. So we still got the foot to the pedal, and we know what's at stake right now, and we're fresh, we're ready to go, and it's not going to stop. After Saturday's game, that's when we can stop. Only for a couple of days until we get started the following day. But that's how I work. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, it was funny because in 23 we won it, and 2 days later, 2 days after Christmas, we're back in office. We were back in office. We were back in the office at it again. And because we knew we had to rebuild a little bit, and it's just the way we're built here, man. We are. And I just can't thank the families enough. But my coaches are They know how to get things done. We know how to get things done, but it's just part of our tradition and part of our culture, and we can't stop.
Yeah. What's the motto this week? What's the motto going into this game Saturday?
Team. It's all about this team. If you play for one another, you take care of one another, and you do things for one another, you hold each other accountable, you fight for one another, you are disciplined. But all that goes
I'll
around.
cut you off real quick. That's something I want to talk about. If you go back to a couple of years ago, the video y'all walking out, entering the stadium, entering the field at AT&T Stadium, that video that went viral. If you look at the video, you let them get loose, you let them, have their fun.
Yes.
But it's like a snap of the finger. Everybody just lined up in the tunnel, and they knew what was on. How do you build that kind of discipline?
You install it. They know me. They know me. They know me. And they understand when it's time to do that and it's time not to do that. And when I say lock in, they know what that means. I don't have to say nothing else. The only thing I have to say is lock in. Lock in. Time to lock in. Lock in. They know what that means. So I let them have their fun. I let them be free. That's one thing you have to trust me. I've learned this about our kids. When it's time to go, I let them go. It's sometimes that day out that tunnel, I could not hold them. I get chills talking about it. I could not hold them. I knew who was about to play was in trouble. I knew that because our kids was ready that day. So at the end of the day, I said, "The hell with it, go," and I released them. And they didn't look back. They did not look back. So when they're ready, and I know when they're not ready. And it's a long way from Saturday, but I'm telling you, that Saturday, 2023, they were locked and loaded, and there was nothing that I can do to hold them back anymore. It wasn't, and I let them go.
Do you think a lot? Like, I'm glad that you said that because, man, I just feel like at the age these kids are at, if you take all that away from them, they don't react the same. They don't like it's. You go back 20 years ago, you didn't have all those Bluetooth speakers and all that.
Yeah.
They got in the tunnel. They might have said a few words and it was business. But like, I feel like the kids nowadays, if you don't give them that NBA young boy or all the stuff they like, they will not react the same. I feel like they got to have that. But like you said, though, they know when it's time to just lock in, though. And that's the difference between some people. Some people don't know when to keep it between the lines and, you just go play football. They take it to another level. But, you can have that if you can respect that.
Yeah, I know this team very well. But I have to know every team very well. And if I don't know my team and my staff, I won't be a successful coach. We would not be successful. It'll be a letdown. We will lose. I know this team and I know this staff. I know when they're ready and I know when they're not ready. And it's my job, nobody else's job. It's my job to make sure they're ready. And by saying that, of course, my coaches know this too as well. So it's on them too as well. But at the end of the day, it's my job to have everybody ready. And trust me, it's on me right now. And I know what we have to do, especially to finish up this week. But it's on me. It's on me to make sure that everybody's ready to go and good to go. There's no excuses. We can't come out in any game flat. If they come out in the game flat, it's on me. It's the head coach. So these guys right now, we're not there. We're not ready yet. Well, I know we'll be ready by Saturday, but we're not there yet. We got a long ways to go and got to be locked in and finishing things up. But I know. As a coach, if you know your team, you'll know.
Well, Coach Mathis, I thank you for coming on live from the Pines tonight. I'm gonna let you get some rest. I know it's been a long year, long season. So I'm gonna let you said so early now. I'm gonna let you get you some rest. But before we go, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on live from the Pines. I know it's a busy week, a lot at stake this weekend. So you coming on here this week means a lot. I appreciate you so much. Before we go, I want to give a big shout out to our guys at Zilker Belch. You discount code Pines936 for all online orders. I want to say they got some green. We got to get Mathis in a belt. We got to get his staff in a belt. We'll see what we can do with that. But I thank you again for doing this, Coach Mathis. I look forward to having you on again in the future. I'll be there in the house Saturday, ready to celebrate and rep you guys. And wish y'all nothing but best of luck this weekend.
Well, I appreciate it. I told our guys we can rest on Sunday. We can
Rest
rest
on
on Monday.
Sunday.
We can rest on Tuesday. We can rest on Wednesday. But this
So,
week, we got to get the
are we
job.
taking Christmas week off after the win?
You know what? I'm not. I'll probably be going on vacation with the family somewhere. Not vacation, but visiting family members and trying to spend time with my kiddos, man, as much as possible. But no. And then I think we have another big event coming up. I think in January that it hasn't been announced yet, but they're going to announce something in January that I'll be doing in January. So no rest for the weary, man. No rest for the weary. But I love it, and I'm glad it's football, so I love it. I love it.
If you love it, you're having fun.
You have to enjoy it right now. And I know this year, I have enjoyed it. God has put me in a situation to enjoy this, and I am enjoying the moment this year, this run, and it's been fun. I wish every coach could experience what we're feeling right now and what we're going through right now.
I forgot the percentage of how many coaches are in the state of Texas,
right.
And how many actually get to play this,
right.
get a chance to play this weekend.
That's crucial because I know what it feels like now. So I get it. I get it. And I wish every coach could feel this way. And it's wonderful, man. It is a wonderful feeling. And, you have your family want to come to the game. You got family just always, it's almost like a family reunion. But you see the kids, they're laughing and they're smiling, and not everybody's playing week 16. Only 4 teams in 6A are playing.
And some people didn't play round 1.
No, I'm telling you. And so you have to cherish the moment. You have to enjoy the moment. And I just thank God that we're blessed to be in this moment right here. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
Well, you heard it here live from Coach Mathis. This is what makes Texas high school football so great.
It is.
Thank you again, Coach Mathis. We got to do this again.
Thank you again. Thanks for inviting me, man. I appreciate it, man. I coached at Marshall a little bit, so I know about the Piney Woods a little bit. And kudos to my family and my friends out there in Marshall, man. I love you guys, man. And it's nothing like some East Texas. So kudos to Marshall.
Yes, sir.